Okay, so there's Reaper with the hood up. You can see what I was talking about with aesthetics that might appeal to males as well as females. The headlights, the overall shape of the car, and I do like how the way the back is contoured. It's got that nice aerodynamic to it, and it just seems like this van has somewhat of an athletic look to it. It just seems, you know, it looks like a runner. It looks like a runner. It looks kind of performance-y. So yeah, I am absolutely covered in bumper stickers. I'm not going to show all of them right now because it's kind of irrelevant, but yeah, here's the van. And actually this shell on the top was actually missing when I bought the van. So you got your air filter, your V6. Let's see here. I've never been able to find the transmission fluid dipstick in here. Probably better that way, because I have heard from reliable sources that you really don't have any transmission problems until you go digging around in it in these Dodge minivans. I remember my first car actually was a Plymouth Grand Voyager SE, which is a minivan that is basically, you know, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge. Plymouth doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, it was a 91. And then the transmission went out and had to be rebuilt, and I only got 2 more years out of it after that. So, but yeah, as far as being known for transmission and engine problems, the Dodge family has come a very long way. Okay, so this is the dumb door that doesn't want to shut sometimes, mostly in the hot weather. So here's the stuff. A look at the inside front, and it is very pretty in here, I think. I've got a CB radio. I'm still trying to work out how to get it to work a little better. You know, there's my phone. Yeah, I got it out. I took out the cushions and everything off of the front passenger seat, but I don't have the tools to actually remove it from the floorboard and get rid of it. So I'm going to get my mechanic to do that. I'm dropping it off with him tomorrow. Yeah, so there's the stereo that I put in. And there's my little rubber snakes all over the dashboard because I'm goofy that way. So yeah, that is actually the glove box that was full of tobacco. That was so much fun to clean out, yeah. And there's all the compartments that used to be nasty. I mean, it looked like a completely different van by the time we got done with it, so. Yep. Okay, the floor. So yeah, there's some stuff about this car though that just, it will never go away. You know, wear and tear, and it's not that big a deal. I mean, that's not what I bought it for. So yeah, the seat belts are all gone. I did save them, however. Because they can be repurposed. I have a sewing machine. I can turn them into straps. I can do whatever. There's my tripod. When you're we're going to do van life stuff, when you're working on your van, I would recommend buying these foamy little kid playmat puzzle things, because you can make it nice and big in the floor when you're, you know, crawling around, so it's not so hard on your knees. Personally, I cannot stand the feeling of knee covers, knee pads. Just because I can't stand the way they feel around the back of my knee, back on my skin. They just bothers the hell out of me. So yeah, the passenger seats are gone. I was giving them away for free, but people are stupid assholes. You know, I'd get a message like, you know, on Facebook from somebody on Craigslist saying, "Oh, I want the tires. If they're free, you know, they're free. I'll come get them." It's like, okay, you know, I don't waste people's time. It's a shitty thing to do, and if you do that, you're an inconsiderate shithead yourself. So anyhow, you know, people would say, "Oh, I'm going to come get them," and I'd make the time. I would have an afternoon clear so that somebody could actually show up and get not the tires, the seats. So I would do that, and then the fuckers wouldn't show up. And so I'd message, "Hey, do you want the seats?" and then get nothing. And that happened multiple times, not just with one person, but with multiple different individuals. And so on Facebook, I went ahead and reported them to Facebook Marketplace as being unreliable, and just basically was like, "Hey, these people are no-shows." You know, and I think on Facebook you can get banned from Facebook Marketplace if you have a repeated, if you get, you know, snitched on for that repeatedly. It is a very rude thing to do. So anyway, ended up just having to chuck the seats into the trash cans right over there, which my mother was not particularly happy about, but whatever. Okay, so here is the view from the back, and once again, here's the back seat well, and there's a bunch of crap I got at Lowe's today to do some of this stuff with this project. So yeah, actually when I took the seats out and I pulled out all the upholstery, I mean, I'm sure you can see that, obviously. There was a lot of surface rust just down in here, so you can actually kind of see that texture right there. That's actually where the rust ate into the metal, but I was able to get rid of it. Actually, that is going to be my next video, is rust removal, but I'm going to be doing it on the outside of the car. It's kind of hard to film something like that on the inside of a car with drop cloth like up all over everything, and there's dust everywhere, and it's nasty. So yeah, I don't like having to deal with dust on the camera lens or on the monitor. It's yuck. So yeah, I used my angle grinder and the paint and rust removal pads to get rid of it, cleaned the hell out of it, and then put on primer and put on black paint, and I think I did a pretty good job. There are a couple spots where paint kind of like drooped and settled just because it got kind of heavy. I might go ahead and clean it and do like a third coat or whatever. But yeah, you can see there down that that relay channel where there was rust, but it wasn't enough to bother blasting it. So what I did was I just coated it in Rust-Oleum primer, and I might just leave it like that actually. So yeah. Okay. Let's walk around again. So yeah, quick story. Actually, I went camping back in October at Turkey Run up in Indiana, and I don't know how the hell this even happened, but I actually ran over nails at the fucking campground, whatever. Yeah, I pulled up to my reserved campsite spot, and I got out and I heard the telltale hiss, and thought, oh God. So I walked around the car and identified actually 2 tires had nails in them and were flattening before my eyes. And since they were flattening right after I parked, to me that meant there were nails at the campsite when I pulled in, which makes no sense to me. Maybe somebody sprinkled nails to be a dick. I don't think it's funny. I don't know. Anyway, how it happened is irrelevant. So I was like, well, it's going to be really hard for AAA to get back in here. 2 tires, and I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to have to be towed. One of them's going to have to be patched. So I, before setting up camp even, I drove over across, I exited the campground area, the park, and went over to a small gas station / diner across the way and called AAA. And like an hour went by, they came and showed up. And also, to get to the spare tire compartment in this van, you have to get into the front console. And what you do is, you have to take out this little lining. I'm gonna pop him out. Okay, and there's a hole. Down inside that hole is where there's a nut that you turn. Actually, the drawer down inside of there is closed, so there's really not much to see. You can't really see it, but it is down there on the floor. And so I didn't have the right kind of tool with me to get in there and to remove that nut. So that was another reason I called AAA. So the guy shows up, and he has a tool. He gets down in there and starts turning. He gets the... So the nut turns, and then we're not hearing anything hit the concrete. So we both crouch down and look under the van, and both of our jaws dropped. And he said, "There is no spare tire." And first I was a little angry, but then I started laughing my ass off because actually I had taken this car off-roading before. Drove to Las Vegas for a wedding a couple falls ago, and in a couple places in Colorado and Utah we went, let's just say we went off the beaten path and went to some places out in the desert and in the woods where we probably should not be going in a minivan. But we did anyway. Everything went fine, all the while never knowing there was no spare tire. So if something happened out where we were, we would have been screwed. Well, maybe not. We stayed within reasonable walking distance of roads and highways and stuff. So, but the guy was like, "Why are you laughing? This is really not funny at all." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to tell you a story." And he said, "Damn, somebody was watching over you." I said, "You know, I don't believe in God necessarily myself. However, I do agree with you." I don't know. Maybe that could make a believer out of me. I don't know. Maybe he was just lucky. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, there was no spare tire. So cranked the cable back up into the car, and so put it up on the tow rig and took it to a Midas a few miles down the road. No more than a few, like 20 miles down the road to the closest town. And Midas does free tire services. I never knew that. So yeah, they basically patched the tires and put air back in them for free. And I was like, wow, that's good, because I did have to pay $80 for the tow. And actually my insurance reimbursed me, since the issue was caused by something that was not my fault or anybody else's fault. It was just a thing that happened, and I do have coverage for little weirdo incidents. I have full coverage on this car. If you can afford full coverage, definitely get it. You'll thank yourself later. So yeah, I decided instead of putting the regular standard mommy missile tires on my minivan, I decided to go ahead and buy a 5th rim for this car. And I already knew I wanted specialty tires for when I dig into this endeavor. So I went ahead and bought a 5th rim, and I'm going to show you the pigsty real quick. So yeah, the 5th rim is over here on the table inside the garage. There it is. And yeah, that's kind of been my workspace for when I'm trying to get stuff done that can't be done outside, and I have a shop here. But anyway, so yeah, here's the tires actually. They actually just came like half an hour ago. Like, I was sitting in there about to set up my tripod, and I hear, I see a FedEx truck come around the cul-de-sac there, and then I start hearing clanking and clunking, and I'm like, okay, what the heck's going on? So I get up and come around the corner, and the FedEx truck is backed up into the driveway, and here comes a guy rolling out these tires, and he said, you ordered 5 of these? I said, yeah. So I kind of explained to him about the spare tire issue and what, my endeavors for the van, and he's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm going to have one of these babies put onto the extra rim, since you can't fit specialty tires into a standard spare tire compartment under a van. So yeah, and I do have a homemade, home-installed rack up here. I put this in myself. I designed it. I put it in. It's pretty cool, pretty good. I think I did a really pretty fucking good job. I mean, look at that. So, all right, 3 points of contact. Well, holding a camera is a 3rd point of contact, so good enough for me. But yeah, it's this is actually shelf track. Basically, this is what you install on the inside sides of a shelf to create an adjustable shelves. So yeah, you can see the holes and whatnot, so that you can move your little shelf pegs around and make it however you want. So this is actually, the way I started this was, I got these temporary after factory whatever racks that you just kind of mount on temporarily, then take them off. And so I went ahead and just kind of drilled into this channel where the sliding door is, and it's out of the way. The door, that's not why the door doesn't shut. It was doing that way before I did this. Okay, so yeah, don't give me crap about that. So yeah, that's how it started, and then I added on shelf rail, and I've got some of these kind of guys and some U-bolts just to kind of create some tie downs. So yeah, this is going to hold 2 100 watt solar panels, pardon me. Oh, there's a couple of my bumper stickers. As you'll come to notice that I'm a Halloween freak. I love Halloween. So yeah, and I'm going to actually expand it in the back, and that's where the spare tire is going to go. Probably I wanted to stick it on the hood, maybe just so it's more accessible, but I don't think that'd be wise, because the hood is not designed for that much weight, and if I need to open the hood, then there's a goddamn tire on the front of it. So it's going to have to go on the roof, and I'm going to have to work out a way to get it down without it rolling into a lake or something like that, because I have heard those horror stories where somebody's camping, or they're out in the boonies somewhere, they're boondocking, and they get a flat, so they go get up on the roof to get their spare tire down. And as they're getting it down, they lose control of it, and it'll roll straight onto the ground, then roll out into a lake. I did hear about that happening to someone. That would really, really suck. I do not want that to happen, because then you really are screwed. So, anyway, and if I do get it onto the hood, that's more troubleshooting. That's not troubleshooting. That would take place after the fact, but that would definitely be some more planning and thinking and problem solving, and just rubbing some brain cells together. I'm surprised to have any after I did the painting on the inside of on the inside of the floor. Yeah, I even told my coworkers, hey, if you want to lose some brain cells, I'll give you the keys and you go stick your head in the car and take a nice long whiff. Refreshing whiff. Alright, so I think that's about it for right now. In upcoming videos, I'm going to talk about rust removal. I'm going to talk about removing, deciding what you want to do with the van, deciding your layout, choosing your van, what tools to have on hand, and just tricks and tips and hacks. And I'll share some horror stories, possibly. I don't have any personal horror stories yet, other than the spare tire incident when I was camping at Turkey Run. But yeah, I think that does wrap it up. So I can't really go over too much what's going to be in the upcoming videos because I'm still making a list for that. But anyhow, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Bye.